Well, there's another Predator movie out, I guess. It's called Prey, and everyone on the interwebs is all in a tizzy over it. And this seems to be another movie that has caused extreme reactions from people. I've seen people very enthusiastically say it's the best Predator movie since the original. I mean, okay. That's not really saying much. I guess you could make that argument. And then there's a few people, not many, who say it's the worst Predator movie ever. Total piece of shit. I mean, did you see that movie from 2018? Did you see Alien versus Predator Requiem for a Dream or whatever the fuck? I mean, those are pieces of shit. Prey is a better movie than that. But it just comes off as so disingenuous to me. I don't believe anyone saw this and thought it was the worst movie ever or the best movie ever. You know, it's middle of the road. It's fine. Anyway, I suppose I should talk about the actual movie instead of how some internet weirdos might have reacted to it. It takes place in the 1700s, and I'm gonna avoid spoilers, so don't worry about that. But I figure most people have watched it by now anyway. And it centers around a young Comanche woman named Naru, and she's trying to become a skilled hunter. And her family and really everyone else around her disapproves of this. They don't like it. You know, I guess because she's a woman. And I thought she was the best thing about the movie. She's probably the most well-developed and interesting character in a Predator movie. Most Predator movies, you know, the characters are kind of one-dimensional. They're just like action dudes. I mean, there was a fucking busload of cliches in that last movie, which I realized was what they were going for, but didn't make it any less cringe. But this character actually grows and changes and has some semblance of an arc throughout the movie. I thought that was cool to see. I just don't understand people who think that she is a Mary Sue or think she somehow single-handedly defeats the Predator. I mean, she fails quite a bit, and she's just trying to survive most of the movie. And the Predator never really thinks of her as much of a threat anyway, at least not until the very end. So I liked her. I thought she was a cool character, and really all the human characters were good. But that's about all I liked. You know, it was just another drab, disgusting-looking movie. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just something about the color palette is gross. You know, it reminded me of the Han Solo movie. Just muddy, disgusting look. You know, it's a movie that has colors, but, you know, it's not a black and white movie, but it looks like shit. They're all muted. And it's just hard to look at for me. I just don't find that interesting. And the movie Predators from 2010 also had a similar visual look to it, and I didn't really like that movie either. And there's such an overuse of really bad CGI, in my opinion. Most of the time, it felt like real actors acting against video game NPCs. I just fucking tune out when that happens. I can't stand it. It's boring to me. You know, and everything in the movie is CGI that's not a human. That's what it looks like to me, anyway. I mean, there's a CGI snake, there's a CGI rodent, there's a CGI bear, a CGI wolf, and they all look bad. And I know it's not really feasible in most of these situations to use a real animal, but if it has to be CGI, it's got to look better than this. I don't know what else to tell you. It looked bad. And even the Predator is partially CGI, and he looks it. It's just not convincing to me. I don't know. I know I'm probably in the minority on that, but it just looked bad. I mean, just look at the makeup effects from 1987. That Predator still looks awesome. It looks amazing. So I don't think there's any excuse to make him CGI now. I mean, makeup effects are better than they ever were. So why not just use it? I don't know. I just don't buy it. I don't like it when the CGI is overused. I don't think it's necessary. And it just kind of annoys me. And the Predator in this movie is also kind of a weirdo. I mean, he cheats by using advanced technology, but only a little bit. Like, he limits himself to spear-type weapons and knives. But he also still uses his cloak, and sometimes he does use advanced technology. I mean, he straight up blows up some fucking dudes at one point with some bombs. And he uses laser-guided arrows. I mean, what's the point of that? If you're going to have laser-guided something, you might as well use bullets. There's no fairness to laser-guided arrows. It might as well be just advanced technology. I just don't get it. He cheats only a little. And I just think if you're going to cheat, you might as well go all out. Just fucking cheat. But of course, if he did that, none of these characters would live. So they kind of wanted to have their fucking cake and eat it too. You know, they wanted all the familiar Predator accoutrements, but they wanted to make it a little bit less advanced so that the characters would have a fighting chance. You know, and I admit that is a bit of a nitpick, but it's just annoying to me. And there's some fun action sequences. It's got all the violence you'd expect from a Predator movie. And I enjoyed how the Predator is eventually defeated. But ultimately, it's just like, who cares? I think they have said all that needs to be said with the Predator movies. The Predator hunts people, people die, and one person is left standing at the end. They've done it. Enough. I mean, this movie is just not different enough for me. It's the same movie. I mean, they even repeat the Arnold line from the original where he famously says, "If it bleeds, we can kill it." And I just fucking roll my eyes during shit like that. It annoys the shit out of me. You can almost picture the filmmakers saying, "Oh, they'll love this. These dummies will eat this up. You know, it's a line from another Predator movie. They'll love it." Just fucking insulting. It's pandering. But despite all of that, I think it's worth checking out. If you're a Predator fan, you'll probably find something to like here. And you'll probably like it better than I did. And like I said, the lead character is great. You might love it. But for me personally, I wouldn't watch this again. I might watch the original Predator movie 100 more times before I watch this one again. And if I had to give it a rating, I'd give it 2.5 dick rocks out of 5. It's a movie. You know, it is what it is. It's fine. But anyway, that's all I got for now. Let me know what you thought of it. And I'm hoping to have another video later on in the week that will hopefully be a little more fun than this shit. But until then, take it easy.